it. So
are you chanting it fast or?
I'm using the recording that you did. So I've written it all down, but I'm doing it, singing along to the slow. And then I just meditate when I listen to you doing the fast.
Yep.
And I'm imagining a big circle of the 88 Buddhas. And as we're going through each of the names, I see them step forward and step into the light. And
Beautiful.
so kind of, because you say it so fast, it's like bam, 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 all around the circle, and we're all connected.
Beautiful, nice.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
It's one of the biggest mantras that we can chant right now. Okay, it's a very important mantra. It is the Da Bei Jiu, means the great compassion mantra. I'm going to actually share tonight the importance of a vow, because it's come up a couple of times today. So we'll discuss a vow tonight. And yeah, we'll get into it. I'll press record. So that's a good start. Hello, Julie. Hello, Charmaine.
Hi, Nick.
Nice to have you on. Hello.
Hi, Nick. Hi, everybody.
Hello, how you going? So I'll actually start with the Da Bei Jiu right now. So I invite everyone to close your eyes. Da Bei Jiu is Buddhist, okay? We're doing the Tao Te Ching, which is Taoist. But remember, all the isms, we have to drop isms, okay? Buddhism, Taoism. Jesus wasn't a Christian or a Catholic. Buddha wasn't a Buddhist. At the higher levels of enlightenment, it's all one, okay? Human stuff is what separates them. So the same, I keep alternating in these teachings, the difference between Buddhism and Taoism, and linking the same teachings. So to call the 88 Buddhas of Da Bei Jiu, I'll tell you how that came to be. Guan Yin, the female Bodhisattva of compassion, was overwhelmed once by the magnitude of saving all sentient beings. And she went to her master at the time and shared her concern. She felt a little bit disheartened because she just felt overwhelmed by the magnitude of the vow. I vowed to save all sentient beings from suffering, help all sentient beings reach enlightenment. It's a huge vow. And as she was aware in her meditations of the vastness of the vow, all the beings in hell realms, all the beings everywhere, she approached her master, and the master gave her a blessing. So in the beginning of this mantra, I'm going to chant for you guys. It's Chen So Chen Yen Wai Da Bei Shin Tulu Ni. It means you're invoking a spiritual transmission, which her guru, her master, blessed her with. It's 1,000 arms, 1,000 eyes, 1,000 hands, 1,000 eyes. Spiritual transmission. There's many different meanings of the 1,000 arms, 1,000 eyes, but fundamentally, a simple way of explaining it is 1,000 ways to reach out to you, 1,000 ways to see your suffering. Okay, there's more than 1,000 actually. So when he chanted the Da Bei Jiu, which is the 88 names of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the compassion and what she saw and the support moved her so much that she bowed down and made a deep, very sincere vow to always spread the Da Bei Jiu, and that if anybody ever called her name, she would come to serve them in any way that she could. The sincerity of the vow moved her teacher so much. Hello, everyone who's here just coming on. The sincerity of her vow moved her master so much that he transmitted the 1,000 arms, 1,000 eyes, spiritual transmission to her and uplifted her. She reached another level of enlightenment. So it's a great honor to learn these mantras. So I'm going to invoke the Tao Te Ching and Guan Yin, and I'm going to chant for you guys now, just to start with. So I'm going to touch a little bit on the 5 steps to come into the present moment. Invite everybody to mute themselves. That's okay. The 5 steps to come into the present moment, which is what I come up with actually, which I find is very effective, is allow yourself to stop. Okay. Allow the physical body to stop. We're always doing things. We're not human beings. We're human doings. We're always doing things. And to actually allow yourself to stop in itself is very powerful. So just feel that. Allow your body to stop. And then allow your mind to stop. Even if the mind continues to keep thinking, just give it permission to stop. Not forcing it to stop, just allowing it to stop. I've just had a beautiful conversation with my son about thoughts. Because when we think of studying the mind, we think of what the mind produces. So we think of thoughts. Whereas in Tibetan Buddhism, they reflect on what is the source of mind, the nature of mind. It's like having a projector screen projecting on a wall and trying to study the projector by studying what movie it's projecting on the wall. We're never going to find the nature of the projector. We're never going to find the nature of mind. So just allow your mind to stop and your body to stop. And next, breathe. Feel your breath. Follow the breath. Consciously, but slowly. Take a full breath in, not fast. Just breathe all the way till it's full. And then as soon as you hit that top point, instead of holding it, just let it come straight back down, slow. Through your nose, okay, always through the nose. And exhale all of your air. So if it means sucking your tummy in, all the way in, till the lungs are empty. No force. And then as soon as it hits the bottom, can straight away in again, relaxed and slow. And just do maybe 5 of them and then let the body relax, just being aware of the breath. The 3rd step is be still. So as we're doing the breathing, and then as we're following the breath, just feel everything settle down. Like raging water or rain on a pond ruffles the surface of the water. And when the rain stops, we see the water become still and anything in the water settle to the bottom. The 4th step is become the watcher. It's to create a sense of panoramic awareness when we are aware of the breath. but we're also aware of how we're feeling, our heartbeat, and our environment, what's going on around us. We're aware of the raindrops. The final step is be kind. With this panoramic, calm, conscious awareness, notice that that state is kind. If any thoughts do come up, be kind to them. Be kind to ourselves and emanate kindness into the world. And as you stay with the breath, I'm going to invoke and chant the Tao Te Ching for you guys before we get started. Dear Guan Yin, dear 88 Buddhas of Tao Te Ching, all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Taoist saints connected to this mantra, please be present. Please bless everyone on the line as appropriate. Help us open up to digest and absorb the wisdom in the Tao Te Ching. We love, honor, and appreciate you. Chen shou chen yan da zi da bei guan da yuan man wo ai da bei xin tu lu ni. Chen shou chen yan da zi da bei guan da yuan man wo ai da bei xin tu lu ni. Chen shou chen yan da zi da bei guan da yuan man wo ai da bei xin tu lu ni. Namo hula dano dula ye ye namo wole ye bolo ji di soban la ye buddhi zada boyamo hojalo ni jaye. An saban la fai sodonu de sha nama shijili do imangoli bolo ji di shivalaran to banama nole jinji shili mo bendo sami. Sabo odo do shipong washi en sabo sadonam mo bosadonam mo boji amo fadado dajido amo bolo shilo jadi jalo di shili. Mo buddhi sado sabo sabo mola mola moshi moshi lido yen julo julo jeman dolo dolo faji di mo faji di dolo dolo sileni. Shivalaya jila jila momo famola modili shi shi shino shino wala shang fala jili fasha fasha vola she. Hulu hulu mulu hulu hulu jili zola zola jili jili zola zola budiye budiye budoye budoye. Midili enule jinji zali zanino boye mono zoba ho shido ye zoba ho mo shido ye zoba ho shido yi sobanlaya zoba ho nula jinji zoba ho mono lola zoba ho. Shila Shangamochi ye soboho, sobomo, washido ye soboho, jijila washida ye soboho, bodomoji shido ye soboho, nula jinji benjila soboho, mobilis and jile ye soboho. Namo holedano de la namo woli ye, boloji di sobanla sobo, and shitando amandola bendo ye soboho. Jingashan drawing is a bo, Shumation drawing is a bo, Magician drawing is a bo, Ambo Julie Shili ye soboho. Feel the frequency, vibration, and the blessing of 88 Buddhas, Autobiography, Guan Yin, but the countless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and enlightened beings connected to this mantra. Take your time, but whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes whenever you feel ready. We'll get onto the text. Again, at any point, if you guys want to jump in, ask any questions. Yeah, or share anything, if you have any insights, please share them. So in this state, we've created a still condition. We'll go straight into chapter 9, where we're up to. Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. Does anyone want to share anything on that? Every one of these chapters is sharing the essence of the whole book, but it's so profound, I find. It's such a powerful text. Anyone wants to come in, just step in at any time. Everyone that's come on, Eve, Felix, Tracy, Silvana, lovely to be with you all. Fill your bowl to the brim and it'll spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. The middle path, okay? Can't live in the extremes. And this is important to reflect on this. There's a beautiful book called The 5 Layers of Attachment. It's by Don Miguel Ruiz's son, Toltec Wisdom. And he shares 5 layers of attachments and he uses the analogy of a football fan. So I'll very quickly go over them. And it's very, I'll share why I'm going over them as well. Level 1 is someone that can go to a football match, enjoy the game, but doesn't care who wins. And then when the game's finished, drops it, okay? Level 2 is someone that goes to a football match and actually starts wanting a team to win. But if they lose or they win, he's not really bothered. Level 3 is somebody who goes to a game, wants a team to win. If the team wins, he's happy for the next few days. And if the team loses, he's angry for the next few days. Number 4 is personalization, I think it is. So it's, or identification. It's identification, sorry. So basically, if someone's in a pub and they're talking about your team and they're saying your team's no good, you take it as a personal attack, okay? You take offense to that. And level 5 is fanaticism, where you would literally die or kill for your team. And he shares some examples of where people have done that. So the reason I'm sharing is because that's a football analogy, but can we observe what level of attachments we're on in our day-to-day life, whether it's with our children, whether it's with our jobs, our attachment to food, anything like that, okay? But fundamentally, we can see if those attachments are creating imbalances in our life, because if we're too far in the extremes, the equilibrium's lost, okay? And I'm sorry if I've repeated what I'm about to share now, but it's a powerful teaching, okay? In Tibetan Buddhism, one way they stick to the middle path is if blessing comes into your life, okay, your son gives you a hug, tells you he loves you, and you feel like the luckiest man alive, or you win the lottery or anything like that, you say, you in your heart, thank you for this blessing, okay? I share this merit, I share this virtue with all sentient beings to relieve the suffering. If you are violently ill, you get cancer, you've got, you lose your job or whatever you think is bad, you can say, may the suffering I'm going through contribute to relieving the suffering of all sentient beings. That way, whether events seem good or bad, and that will, by doing this practice, good and bad will slowly start falling away. You'll start taking the middle path and seeing that they're just things happening. Okay, it's only the mind that says they're good or they're bad. So the middle path, by doing this, it doesn't matter whether a blessing comes or suffering comes, because we're going to use them to save all sentient beings. It's a very powerful teaching, way to find the middle path. So this to me, this is my understanding, these first 2 lines here, 2 sentences are about finding the middle path. This is a little bit interesting. Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Fascinating. Anyone can share whenever they want. I don't think he's saying that's I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's deep wisdom what he's saying here. For a start, I always say there's two worlds he's talking about. He's talking about the world of the Tao, the formless, can't be increased or decreased, can't be warmed up or cooled down. It's out of that. Okay, it's nothing that gives life to everything. Then there's the world of everything, the form, but there's also the world of the now, where all life is experienced in life. And there's the world of illusion, which is time, past or future. So chase after money and security will never, your heart will never unclench. It's future. And it's selfish. You might be chasing after money for the benefit of other people. And that's okay. You know, I'm not saying, even if you're chasing after it for yourself, I'm not saying anything's right, wrong, good or bad here. We're just going into the text. One thing in Buddhism, and what my teacher teaches as well, is one of the blockages, the soul, the Shen Qi Jing blockages of the heart is desire. Okay. Desires is a bottomless pit. And if we look at the world, we can see it. No matter how much money people have, they can never be satisfied with material gain. Or the new car becomes the old car in a short time. The new boat becomes the old boat very soon. And they're never happy. And depression is just as common in the rich as it is in the poor. Therefore, we can see that material gain is not the answer. So chase after money and security, your heart will never unclench. Care after people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. Very powerful. You think about the ego. The ego is always bothered about what other people think. You know, in the spiritual journey, it is to become naked, literally naked, more than losing your clothes. It's to be completely stripped bare to the bone. This is why it's not easy being around a master. You look at my teacher. My teacher is a beautiful soul, right? He's a beautiful man. He was, when he was at a certain age, he'd mastered a number of disciplines, and his father sent him a little book called Junong Medicine by a master called Dr. Master Guo. My teacher sent him a letter saying, "Can I be your disciple?" Now in China, a disciple is not a student, okay? A disciple is, if you're chosen as a disciple, your master is on the same level as your parents, if not higher. So Master Guo said no, right? So he wrote him another letter. And then he got a letter back saying, Jigang, which is my Master Sha's first name, Jigang disciple 3396-815, which is San San Jolio Baya Wu in Chinese. And my teacher didn't know what that was. He thought that might have been a phone number, right? And so when he became his disciple, he didn't just become his disciple. Master Guo had 5 daughters, and he adopted Master Sha as his only adopted son. Okay, that's the seriousness of having a disciple. You're willing to die. You're willing to save them if they get lost and go to hell. It's a big deal being a disciple-master relationship. What happened then was my teacher's teacher, Master Guo, adopted Master Sha as his adopted son, and then treated him so cold, never spoke to him, never acknowledged him for 12 years. When Master Guo would enter the room, Master Sha would bow down on the floor. When he'd leave the room, he'd bow down on the floor. If he went over and he said, "Baba, I'm going to bed now," when he said he's going to bed, Master Guo wouldn't even look at him, like, just go. And it really put him through a lot of testing. What's he doing there? Paramahansa Yogananda, you watch his documentary Awake, his teachers did the same. This is testing the student, the disciple, on their gold, their total gold: gratitude, obedience, loyalty, devotion to the master and to God, okay, to the Tao, to their spiritual path. There's been stories in history, we'll share them on another night, where disciples have cut their arm off to prove that they want to be, they're ready for to be taught. They're willing students. So this is a stripping down. The master is stripping the disciple down, getting rid of their ego. So this is a great line: care about people's approval and you'll become their prisoner. You become their slave. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. You do your work, you lose all attachments to it. Okay. I'm not at that level. I'm not saying I've attained anything here. As I always say, I'm just, I haven't attained anything. But I'll give you an example with these teachings. I finished these teachings, I upload them, put them on YouTube if anyone wants them. I never look at my videos again. And then whatever happens to them. Okay. If all my videos got deleted off YouTube, I genuinely wouldn't be bothered. It's gone. Okay. Put it out there and then it's gone. Does anyone want to add or ask any questions to that?
I think the chase after money and security, Nick, is that's also to do with our programming. Especially if you come from a family that's not very well off. And it's not until you actually start doing some work on yourself that you realize what's been going on. Yeah,
I agree. But even now we're in a money system that's corrupt, and we don't have to go down that line. But I mean, even this is 2,500 years old, and in Tibet, where they don't have much material gain, there's many stories of people back then who material gain was how many cows or ox they had. You know what I mean? So there's always been the same human condition of wanting more and attaching to things.
Yeah.
I like to go over your YouTube lesson again, just so it's fresh in my mind as well.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you can do it as much as you want. I was just using that as an example of the last line, because this is very, very profound. I mean, you look at how this text came into being. Lao Tzu said he'd never write anything down. He said, I'll never write about the Tao, because the second it comes on the paper, or it comes through words, it's not the Tao. And somebody asked them to write it down. Some stories say he got arrested by his own disciples, and they wouldn't let him go until he wrote something down. He wrote the Tao Te Ching just straight off the back, took off, was never seen again, didn't care whether it got put in the bin or not. And it's lasted 2,500 years. So fascinating. Again, time is mind. We can come back to this. Remember, we're content in the present moment, anxious in the future, depressed in the past. Can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep to the original oneness? Can you let your body become as supple as a newborn child's? Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? Can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things? Giving birth and nourishing, having without possessing, acting with no expectations, leading and not trying to control. This is the supreme virtue. Again, profound. Every single line we could do a full night on, but we'll try and get through it. Does anyone want to share on that?
Yeah, that's quite interesting, because I did a course in miracles, and with those, you contemplate one every day. So this is quite fast. I needed sometimes more than a day to go through that. It took me longer than 365 days.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, but I mean, even the Course in Miracles, I think if you did 365 days and then you started it again from the beginning, it'd be a completely different 365 days. It's the same with the 10 days. I'm hoping to possibly, if everyone's keen, start a 10-week, 10-day, which I'll explain after. And, that's embodying 10 conditions of the Tao over 10 days or 10 weeks in this case. But every time you come back and start again, you've purified so much. You've reached another level of understanding. You start again, you just get more and more insight second time round. It's a lifelong practice. So can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep to the original oneness? He's asking this because this is what the sage does. What is the original oneness? Tao. Can you let your body become as supple as a newborn child's? This actually is a secret teaching in here, which is the oil lamp teaching. Later on in the chapters, he talks about when you see a baby sap or baby branch, it's supple. And when you see a dead twig or branch, it's brittle. A dead body is stiff and unbending, and a baby is supple and yielding. Therefore, stiff and unmoving is the disciple of death. Soft, yielding, and flexible is the disciple of life. So as we get older, the body is getting further away from the source, but we can fill that oil lamp up with spiritual practice. We can stay supple. We can stop leaking. We can build that oil lamp, and we can become as supple as a newborn child. And the mantra we did last week, Fan Lao Huan Tong. This is Fan Lao Huan Tong. Return health, return to the health and purity of a baby state. Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? What do you think that means? Cleanse your inner vision. You see events taking place. Somebody who has not cleansed their inner vision, who's stuck here, all they're seeing is this person's right, this person's wrong. Okay, he's a bad guy, he's a good guy. He's a liar, he's telling the truth. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. You cleanse your inner vision to see nothing but the light. You understand the nature of everything. You understand that. My Buddhist teacher said to me once, she said, whatever you see in someone else, if you've got a pen and paper, write this down, deep wisdom. Whatever you see in someone else, if you point out someone's faults, right, you take them on. If you point out someone's qualities, you take them on also. So very profound teaching. You cleanse your inner vision, you see nothing but the light. If someone's making a mistake or wants to hurt you, you can be grateful. In Buddhism, they say this is a great opportunity. They're offering you the greatest opportunity to practice and experience firsthand the spiritual teachings of compassion, patience, loving kindness, forgiveness. Okay. So sometimes the biggest challenges are the biggest blessings, but can you cleanse your inner vision so you can see the light in every situation? And we'll go into light shortly, actually. I'll give you a bit more insight into that. Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? I think to lead people truly is to love them, because if you love them, you would never even entertain imposing your will on them. It's only when we're stuck in the separate consciousness, separation consciousness, which is me, my, I, mine, okay, and you want to impose your will. I think if we truly love people and, we see natural leaders, rather than trying to take their spot, we might not in front of people, just gently say, maybe try this. Okay, maybe try this. Maybe can you see this from this perspective? That way, you're just loving them and nourishing their natural journey. You're not imposing your will. That's actually leadership. There's a chapter we'll get to, maybe not tonight in this, And he explains the hierarchy of the best leaders to the worst leaders, and it's profound. Okay. Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? This is trusting in the Tao. Sometimes our input is just not needed. It just creates too much confusion. I've shared it before, the adding technique. Right now, well, for years, humans have tried to correct things by adding things. In the pursuit of the Tao, every day something is dropped. So can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? Sometimes it's good to just let things take their course. Can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things? Can you step away from this? Step away from the your world, the sir world, the world of forms and things, and observe this world from this world, the emptiness, no thingness world. Giving birth and nourishing. Whatever you bring into the world, it's like you're giving birth to it. Nourish it if it's of service to all beings. Having without possessing. You know, always makes me laugh how people say they own land. You know, get attached to owning land. Yeah, we don't own land. So, but we can still enjoy land. We can still, this is why we should be more like caretakers of the land. So you can have things, but you don't possess them. This is detachment. Act with no expectations. Do your best. Less expectations, bigger results. Bigger expectations, lesser results. Leading and not trying to control. This is the supreme virtue. Why is it the supreme virtue? Because this is how Tao operates. The Tao is so humble. It gives birth to everything. It nourishes everything. It holds everything, but doesn't possess it. Everything has free will.
This video.
And
it's life.
Oh.
And and lead them by not trying to control. The Tao doesn't control. This is the supreme virtue, to actually meld with the Tao. Does anyone want to share anything on that? Any questions, anything? No? That's all good. This is one of my favorite chapters, what we're going on to now. We join spokes together in a wheel, but it's the center hole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it's the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it's the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. For me, this is a beautiful example of how the world of emptiness and space and the world of form complement each other. All form is informed, so there's an information that gives life to all form. But that doesn't mean one's more important than the other, okay? So if we look at this clay pot, the space that's inside the pot is the same space that's outside the pot. But it's only useful because of the clay pot, the form. So the clay pot is made. That's being, but non-being. The space is what we use. We look at a house. We hammer wood to make a house. We can't live in the walls. Can't live in the walls. Therefore, the walls are what gives a house its value. You know, some people have big houses. Some people have small houses. but it's the same space inside the house that's outside the house. It's only the space that we can live in. So you might say the space inside the house is more valuable than the walls. But we need the walls to protect us from the elements, from the wind and the rain or whatever, for privacy and so on. So this is how the yin-yang nature works in harmony with each other. In Tibetan Buddhism, they talk about like a glass vase as the body, okay? If you put a lid on this glass vase, is the space inside different from the space outside? No, it's just contained. So if you smash that glass, where would the space go? Okay, so when we look at what happens when we die, you know, people say they have near-death experiences, and it's very common for people to say, all of a sudden, they're not observing through the body. They have panoramic awareness. They are aware of what their brother's doing in India, what their parents are doing in England. They're looking down on the body. They're everywhere at once. It's like, imagine this space in this vase. Once you smash the vase, it would become one with everything. And this is the same with life and death. This is how, when we die, the conscious awareness leaves the container that it's in. This is the world of form, but it works in harmony with space, with emptiness. Any questions on that?
No.
Anyone wants to share? Oh, good. We'll keep moving. But reflect on this throughout your day, okay? When you get in the car, think about the space in the car. Colors blind the eye. Sounds deafen the ear. Flavors numb the taste. Thoughts weaken the mind. Desires wither the heart. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. His heart is as open as the sky. So beautiful. Again, this is balance. Too much colors will blind the eye. Same as sharpening the blade too much, it'll blunt. Sounds deafen the ears. Flavors numb the taste. But too many things in your dish that you're cooking, it tastes of nothing. Thoughts weaken the mind. It's powerful. It's a powerful one line there. If you reflected on that for the rest of your life, you get a lot of insight. In this book I'm reading, the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, which I recommend everybody read, write it down, Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. He shares how the intention is not to try to stop the mind from thinking. It is a case of allowing the mind to rest. Stop giving it stimulation. This is one of the main purposes of Vipassana. Vipassana is 10 days, 10 nights of silence. It is to not resist anything, to see things as they are, not try and control anything, and just allow the mind to naturally settle into its natural state. Desires wither the heart. We've already covered that. Think about it, always wanting things. Why you want things? Most people want things for themselves. Okay, the self is separated from the whole. The sun doesn't want anything. The sun has no desires. The moon has no desires. Mother Earth has no desires. Therefore, it's one with Tao. Nature lives long life. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. detached. He can observe this world comfortably. Doesn't resist the world, doesn't resist the thoughts, doesn't resist anything. He observes it. But he trusts his inner vision, trusts his intuition, trusts his heart, trusts his nature. He allows things to come and go. His heart is as open as the sky. Things appear, no attachment. Things go, no attachment. I think that'll be the last chapter that we cover tonight. Is there anyone on the line that's actually tried or practiced the 10 Da practice, the 10-day, 10 Da transformation practice I've got on SoundCloud?
Yes, I've done it twice now.
Well
and
done.
I've loved it. Thank you.
No, awesome. Thank you. Thanks for doing it. Anybody else?
I've done it too, Nick. I've done it with my daughter.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm going to share. Is anyone keen to do a 10-week one? Because this should, I mean, we're only up to chapter 12. We might get 10 weeks more out of this. But, you know, 10 days is very effective. But 10 weeks is how I actually first started it. The first time I ever put this forward to the spiritual community that I was in Sydney, we actually did 10 weeks, and a lot of the people had incredible results. One guy was on the verge of having a divorce, and he took up this practice for 10 weeks. And I think it was by like week 2, he didn't tell his wife what he was doing. He just did the practice, and basically his whole life changed, his relationship changed. So what it is there is 10 conditions of the Tao, which my teacher has released to the world. So there is greatest light, which is the ultimate, purest light. There is greatest, and you can write these down if you want. So you've got greatest light, greatest gratitude, okay? Pure gratitude, humility, greatest humility. You know, if I was to sum up the whole Tao Te Ching text in one word, it would be humility. The nature of the Tao is humble. So there's humility, there is love, the greatest unconditional love. There is service, the greatest unconditional service. There is enlightenment, soul, mind, body enlightenment. Compassion, ultimate, greatest, unconditional compassion. There is flourishing, okay? Ancient sentence, follow Tao flourish, go against Tao finish. If you move in the direction of nature and you move with the universal laws and principles, you will flourish. It's like a raging river. If you get in there and you swim with it, it's effortless, and you're gaining so much. You're supported by the whole weight of the river. If you swim against it, you're not going to last very long. So it's follow Tao flourish, go against Tao finish. So fundamentally, understanding the Taoist teachings and principles is to move with the natural process of life, of nature. So greatest flourishing is one, and the last one is greatest harmony. Okay, they're the 10 conditions. So the 10-week practice.
Sorry, Nick.
Yes.
Excuse me. I only got 9 there.
Sorry?
9. You said 10. I got 9 because I was writing it down.
Okay, we've got light, gratitude, humility, love, service, enlightenment, compassion, flourishing, harmony.
That's 9, isn't it?
It is 9.
Forgiveness.
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 My bad. The one after service, my bad. So you've got the 5th, the 6th. 6th is forgiveness. Unconditional forgiveness. I apologize.
That's all right. Thank you.
That's okay. So each one of them as well, this is why another reason why they're so important. Each one of them is represented in one of the spaces of the body. So the first chakra or soul house, the root chakra, is light. Second one, gratitude. Third one, humility. Fourth one, love. Fifth one, service, forgiveness, enlightenment. The Ming Men point, which we'll go over in later weeks, is compassion, whole Waijiao. Then you have the lower Dantian is flourishing, and the Kundalini Snow Mountain area is harmony. So when we clear these spaces, it's like, imagine if you look at the world, right? The form, the trees, the ocean, the human beings, the animal kingdom. If the air is polluted, if the space is polluted, not just with fumes and physical pollution, but psychic pollution, greed, anger, confusion, anxiety, the physical world will struggle, will suffer. Okay, we'll see pollution manifest in the world. So to clear the spaces of the body is key for healing and opening your spiritual channels. And then after that, we will work on the 5 elements. We'll bring the 5 elements into these as well. 5 elements is so important, especially in Taoist practice, traditional Chinese medicine. So that's, if you guys are keen, that's what I think we will get the most out of these practices.
Nick, is this the 10 stages that you did through the Global Awakening?
I did, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I did do that. It was amazing.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was the forgiveness one that actually really moved me on.
Yeah, forgiveness is huge. Forgiveness is huge. So each one of these, like my teacher says, if you embody one of them, you're embodying them all. Okay, so if you embody love, you're embodying humility, forgiveness, compassion, all the rest of it. If you embody compassion, same, you're embodying all 10. But it's still very powerful to consciously embody each one of them. So what I suggest is, if it's light week, which it is this week, because we're going to start on the root chakra. If this week is light, get post-it notes. Anything that's going to remind you. You can get, I've got an app on my phone. I'll see if I can show you the image of it. Where's my camera? See that little blue thing there? Mindfulness app. That you can set that every 5 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours, and it will give you a bell, like a ding. Okay. It's just a reminder. Usually what I do when I set that is, no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm eating my dinner, having a conversation, I'm at work, if I hear that bell, I'll stop and I'll take 3 conscious breaths, come back to the present moment. But what we can do is we can actually do that, or, you know, if you've got a post-it note, whatever it is, little reminders. Could be a horn, could be a neighbor playing loud music. Usually it would irritate you. You could now start saying, thank you so much, you're my mindfulness bell. And then when you hear it, you go back to the breath and light. If it's light, Gang Ming, what is why is light so important? Okay. Light carries intelligence. If we look at light and dark, you cannot turn on darkness. You can't turn on darkness and the light will disappear. Darkness is an absence of light. So when we suffer, it's an absence of consciousness. Consciousness is light. You see a room that's lit up, okay, and there's no shadows in the room, if someone was to put a chair in the middle, it would create a shadow. Therefore, the chair is the separation. This explains the dark forces in the world as well, not to be afraid of, yin-yang polarity. The dark forces in the world need to create shadows through division. There is one universal, harmonious light, benevolent light. The dark forces create division between people and whatever. And if you use the analogy of the lit up room, you have a lit up room, you put a chair in the middle, or you put something that casts a shadow, they can reside in the shadow. You need separation to create the shadow. So light and dark are opposites, but they're not, it's not like you can turn darkness on. Darkness is an absence of light. Therefore, if you're in Gang Ming, which is greatest light, if you're in this week, constantly visualize light in the body. If you're waiting in the post office and the queue's enormous, you've got an hour-long wait, you can realize the wisdom that everyone in that queue has been your mother countless times. In the Tibetan Buddhism, they say, don't take this with a pinch of salt, reflect on this. Anybody that comes into our lives has been our mother since beginningless time, countless times in different lifetimes, as a deer, as a dog, whatever. And they've been willing to give their lives for us. This helps build love and kindness and compassion. So when you're there, you realize that you have a spiritual connection with everyone in the queue. And you can chant Gang Ming or greatest light and see the greatest light nourishing them all. This is a way we can serve wherever we are. If you're driving your car, every car that drives past you, bless them with light. It's a very beautiful practice. Is everyone keen for that? You don't have to do that, but I'm just saying. But if you do have any insights you want to share, and share them the next week, okay?
I'm in. I love this. I love it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, thank you. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to close my video and my sound just for 2 minutes. I'm just going to nip the bathroom if anyone else needs to have a little bathroom break, and then we'll do a meditation, okay? Okay. Invite everyone to get comfortable and really sit with intention. Meaning that we're entering this practice for selfless reasons. You know what? I was going to discuss a vow, okay? And I'll share a little bit about a vow, but we'll do it in a meditative state. So we'll apply these, okay? Allow yourself to stop. Close your eyes. Follow the breath. Allow the mud to settle. Be still. Become the watcher. Panoramic awareness. Be kind. We're going to breathe through the nose only. Ancient Taoists, a lot of research in this now. But the ancient Taoists protected themselves from mouth breathing. My nose has been broken a number of times when I was younger. I used to box, Thai box, things like that. And I thought I needed an operation on my nose. And since I've been breathing through my nose and using my nose, and there's research into this too, my nose is cleared up on its own. So follow the breath through the nose. Place one hand over your navel, one hand over your first chakra, okay, the base of your body. And feel our connection to the earth. When we breathe, follow the breath all the way down to that chakra and see a Jindan there, a Gang Ming, greatest light Jindan. The core of it, the size of your fist, but the size of it is between a basketball and beyond, bigger than the body. See it moving, spinning, vibrating, pulsating. This is body power and mind power, soul power. They're the 88 Buddhas of Tao Te Ching. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Lao Tzu, or any teacher you have called your teacher. They are the divine and Tao, all enlightened beings. Please, Mother Earth, heaven, or humanity, see universal light coming from 360 degrees into your first soul house or chakra. We build this as our foundation. It acts as a pump, pumps light up the center channel and up the back channel, stimulates our yin-yang energy circles, but we'll get to that in later weeks. This week, root chakra is where our focus is. Incredible light. They're all beings. We love you, honor you, appreciate you. Please, we invite you to this practice. Please practice with us. We practice for the benefit of all beings. May all beings be flooded in Gang Ming, the greatest light. Light heals, rejuvenates, transforms every aspect of life, including relationships and finances. If you have challenges in your finances, everything has a soul. Dear soul of my finances, if I've ever harmed anybody in a past life, in their finances, made their life hard, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Dear the soul of my finances, I love you. Any relationship, anyone I've ever hurt, any family members, anything that comes into your awareness, including yourself, something you can't forgive yourself for, anyone you love, maybe someone you haven't got a challenge with, your son, your mum, anything, transition loved ones, whoever comes into your awareness, invite them to your first soul house. There's no limits to what we can do. See them in your first soul house, being nourished by Gang Ming, greatest light. See their blockages being transformed. See the light from the first soul house nourishing our systems, organs, cells, DNA, RNA, our field, the spaces in the body, the 5 elements, acupuncture points, attachments and desires, purifying our negative speech, our self-talk. Feel how warm it is. If we have any injuries, feel how this light is like a gentle, warm sunlight on the injury, creating blood flow, energy flow, transforming any karmic signatures to light, changing the Shen Qi Jing. May all beings meld with the greatest light. Meld with the source of light, yin yang light, visible light, yin light, invisible light. There is layers of light. Fluorescent light is not very good for us, okay? It's a lower vibration light. This is Da Guang Ming, the purest light we are calling on. Don't limit this light. It carries intelligence. It carries pure benevolence and the 10 Das, humility, forgiveness, everything. See this Jindan expand beyond the body to your house. See it change the frequency, the field of your house. Whoever's in your house, see it nourish them. Expand it out. See it nourish your community, your neighborhood, the trees, the animals, the insects, the field. What's going on in the field? See this light purifying that. Helping any drunk or people who are addicted to drugs, helping with all of that. Helping to purify our communities. An infinite number of enlightened beings assisting in this practice. See it go out to the country you're in, nourishing the oceans, rivers, mountains. See it go out, nourishing the stars, the sun and the moon, this vast landscape, the earth, all layers of heaven. Actually start nourishing even our spiritual fathers and mothers who are taking part in this practice, our ancestors. The core is still in your root chakra. See this light expand to all beings everywhere, until there is just one universal Gang Ming. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Follow the breath. We chant sound power. The chant is connect with the message of what we're invoking. Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming. Breathe. Da Guang Ming, 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 Da Guang Ming. Through the nose, in. Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming. Greatest light, greatest light, greatest light, greatest light. We can sing it. Da Guang Ming, 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 Da Guang Ming. Silently. And feel in the body your life changing. Feel this light melt blockages away. In you, in your family, in your loved ones, in the world, in your community. Feel transformation. Feel healing. Sing along quietly if you want, in silence, just your inner voice, in silent chanting. Stay with the breath through the nose. Ta Guan Ming. Ta Guan Ming. A mantra is also yin yang. The sound is form. Silence is the Tao. Manifested, unmanifested. Ta Guan Ming. 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 Divine light. Divine light. Divine light. Divine light. See the difference in God's light. Feel the light from the divine. Divine light. Divine light. Divine light. Divine light. Tao light. Tao light. Tao light. Tao light. Tao light. Ta Guan Ming. Ta Guan Ming. Tao Guan Ming. Ta Guan Ming. Ta Guan Ming. Now see this Jindan that is out to all creation, nourishing all creation, transforming all creation. See it coming down in size. Through the stars, through the countless spiritual layers, through Mother Earth, through the lowest realms, saving the lowest realms, saving all humanity, all nature. Coming down in size to our country, our state, our city, our suburb, our home, around our body. The core still in the first root chakra. Feel how intense this light is now. The whole body lit up with the greatest light. Just feel that. I said I'd touch on a vow tonight. Never make a vow unless you're ready. But I would say it was safe to say that everybody here has made a vow in a past life. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Some people are scared of vows. I was quite cautious of vows in the beginning, which is fair enough. But when we make a vow that's bigger than ourselves, we vow to serve all beings, dedicate our life to bring them peace, vow to reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. When we have days where we're focusing on ourselves, we're complaining, read your vow. There's a story of a Zen student that did a 100-day retreat and felt very detached from the world. And when he called his Zen master, and the Zen master through telepathy knew what he was going to say. And the Zen student said, "Master, what's the point? What's the point?" He felt so detached from the world. He said, "What's the point?" And before he finished, his master just shouted straight to the point down the phone, "For all beings," and then put the phone down. Why do we keep going? Why do we meditate for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours before bed, if we can do that? Why do we want to purify our soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter? It's for all beings. A vow bigger than yourself. Remember, don't make a vow till you're ready. But when you're ready, make a vow, progress very fast on your spiritual journey, because every being that's made a similar vow will support your journey. Now, that doesn't mean it gets easy, okay? It means you're taking it serious. This is not just meditating to try and find a little bit of, put a bit of a smile on our face. This is the spiritual path. This is working through lifetimes of karma. When we embody one of the 10 das, like light, if it's humility, if it's love, we are blessed with love, but it's not as simple as we're just blessed with love. We will be shown situations where we have to practice love or practice humility. I did this with a few students in Nelson Bay when I was in Nelson Bay. We started on Gang Ming, and nobody attached to this. It's not to be afraid of. It doesn't happen with everybody, but one student, the next day, she went through a lot of spiritual testing. And that's okay. I've been through a lot of spiritual testing. I can promise you that. I am by no means saying I'm a teacher. I'm not saying I'm your teacher. I'm not saying anything of that. But the reason we go through spiritual testing, the reason why masters are masters and no masters have it easy, they have a hard time, is because when somebody else is embarking on the journey and they come up against spiritual testing, if they reach out to you, you can say, "I've been there and this is what I suggest you do." Okay. So I'm just saying, I'm no one's teacher, but I am here for anybody, anytime. Contact me and I'll be there. Okay. So now just let everything go. Stay with the breath through the nose. And if you're not prepared to make a vow, which is totally fine, I recommend you don't until you're ready. Make a commitment. Okay. Commitment's a little bit lighter. It's not as serious. But I'm going to commit to this practice. I'm going to commit to serving all beings. We're going to finish this practice now, and this is how we're going to finish. We're going to say, how. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Before we say Gong Song, may any virtue or good merit that we have received from this practice that we did for all sentient beings, may we share that with all sentient beings to relieve the suffering and move all beings in the direction of Wan Ling Rong He, All souls join together as one. One is Tao. And feel what that feels like. To be selflessly in service to the whole. But hold the vision of light, okay? Hold the vision of light. And now we say gong song, gong song, gong song. And when we go, we're not in a rush to go, we can ask any questions, but now or when you go, whenever, let the feeling of the practice wash over you, be with you, feel, integrate the wisdom, integrate the practice. And I always say to people, you know, if you're going through a hard time, if you sat down and you're having a bad day, you're having nothing seems to be going your way. If you said, you know what, no matter what, even if I don't get the kids to bed till 11 o'clock at night, don't matter, I'm struggling, I am going to chant Gang Ming for 1 hour before bed. And you just make that commitment for all beings. I promise you, you will stand up and leave that practice a very different person than when you sat down. Save your way out of suffering. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to share? I will share the SoundCloud recordings, and I might make just a little easy mantra where I just chant that mantra if anybody wants the mantra. And I'll also do the 5 elements soul tapping that I haven't done yet, but I'm so sorry. This is my busy time. So I've been working quite a bit and a few other things going on. So I apologize for that. But thank you so much for tonight.
Are we doing the 10-day Tao?
Yep. So we won't be 10 days though.
We're 10 weeks.
10 week. Okay. So this week is Gang Ming.
It's light.
Nick, I would love it if you could please do a meditation on that so that I can practice that every day. That would be amazing.
Awesome. Okay.
And I commit to it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a funny little moment. So I was chanting along and my son's come in and turned on the light. That was the first bit. And then him and the dog stood over me and were silently laughing at me. And then the dog had to jump in my lap and give me hugs. And then the dog went to sleep.
Wow. Is this your new dog?
Yeah, this is my new little dog. I'll give you a quick little snippy.
Yeah, definitely.
She went to sleep with all the nice chanting.
Is it a cavoodle?
Yeah.
This is beautiful. Thanks for sharing.
That's okay. It was funny when he turned the light on. I was like,
There you go. There's your message.
Greatest light.
Nick, I will share that as we were doing the mantra, I was feeling my body vibrating, actually tingling, and I can actually still feel it tingling now. So I can feel the power in what we're doing here. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you for sharing. When you share, sometimes as well, like it's very important to share because other people get insights from sharing. You know, this is a study group. So, I mean, I do 99% of the talking, but, you know, I would appreciate, you know, I'm happy for you guys to share anything you have, because I learn from you guys too. We all learn from each other. We're all seeing the teaching from a different angle.
You mentioned a couple of books there, Nick, the Autobiography of a Yogi. I read that. That was fascinating. And the other one was the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. Yep. Someone gave me a copy of that when my dad died, and I have to say it really helped.
Yeah, it's a beautiful book. Yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful book. If any of you guys are interested in book recommendations, I mean, I've read some beautiful books. I'd be happy to share all what I would suggest in my books that I like reading. But Tao Te Ching I've read the most.
I just want to say that even though I don't comment, like for me, this is my personal experience, and I listen to what you say, it just feels like there's such a depth to everything that you're sharing with us tonight. It's almost like words. It's like I've got to allow it to digest before I can really express, and maybe that'll change over time. But for me, that's my reason for not really commenting, because I'm really soaking in the information.
That's great. That's great. I'm not saying you guys have to share, but the reason why I like the 10 Da practice as well is because if you guys really do commit to that for a week, you guys should have some experiences to share next week. And that's what I'd love to hear. So before we get started next week, I'd love to hear how you guys have gone for the week. You know, some people might say they've had a great week, or some people might say it's been challenging or whatever, but yeah, we can all learn from each other. But thank you, Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just wanted to share, Nick, just wanted to say thank you. Silvana here.
Thanks,
I always love Greatest Light, and I always love, I mean, there's a beautiful song that, well, Master Shah does, but you know how he says, Tao light source, Tao source light is inside me and I'm inside Tao source light. And I just think it's so profound and it's beautiful, and it really does sum up everything, doesn't it? Mm.
Yeah, each one of the 10 Das has got like a wisdom to it, which I'll share. And that for the greatest light, that is, I am inside the Tao source light. Tao source light is inside me. So when we create that, countless things you can do. But for example, the practice we just did, when that light goes out to all beings, it's one light. That is Tao light that we are all in, but that light is within all of us as well. So, you know, any negativity, any negative messages come your way, information, just transform it to light. So yeah, guys, we've gone an hour and a half, just over. So I appreciate you all very much. And yeah, I'll see you all next week, eh?
Thanks,
and
Nick.
in the meantime, if you guys want to reach out and anything, have a chat, whatever you need, I'm always here, okay?
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good night.
Thanks, Nick.